Hello, Ray. Welcome back.
Hello.
This is the Renaissance, Ray. Episode 235.
Too right, mate.
If people don't know why I'm talking like this, it's because you're not looking at the video. If you looked at the fucking video, you would know why I'm talking like this.
So, Cam, how are you? I don't know who you are right now.
I got some new glasses, Ray. And when I put them on, for some reason I don't understand, I have to talk like Michael Caine in 1967. Because I watched the Ipcris.
I
watched the Ipcris file. You ever seen the Ipcris file, Ray?
That sounds familiar.
1966, I think. Michael Caine.
Good
made
year.
Michael Caine a star, that film. That and Alfie, I think, were the two that made him a star.
There we go. Now it's
But he was wearing glasses like
Right.
this in the Ipcris file. And so I bought some
And
because
now,
it was,
now you're
I
bringing it.
brought it. And I thought to myself,
Right.
I think
This is gonna
I
be a
can
long
pull this
night.
off now. I think I
Yeah.
can look like Michael Caine and get away with it.
You could, but should you? I think is the question. Oh, everybody.
Great line at the end of the film. So he's a spy. It's based on a Len Deighton book. He's a spy, but they're like the anti-Bond spy novels, like Frederick Forsyth. A lot of these things were. But he gets himself, he gets caught, he gets tortured, and he finally escapes and he kills the bad guy who's also his boss, and then his other boss gets there and Michael Caine, the last line of the film is he realizes his boss set him up with his other boss to like act as bait to draw his other boss out. And Michael Caine's last line, he goes, "I could have been beaten or killed." And his boss says, "That's what you're paid for." And that's it. That's it.
Yeah. I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate.
Well, speaking of which,
yes.
I think we talked about this. Not sure if we talked about this, but I've been reading books about witch trials, and I'm reading the Malleus Maleficarum. It's written in the late 1300s, I think, maybe early 1400s. It's about the justification for Catholic witch trials. And I think we should do a series on witches and the witch trials. When we get through Michelangelo, I think we should do the witch craze of the Renaissance period.
And bring it back.
Because, you know, a lot of it happened in Europe and Germany, places like that, but it was justified by the Pope at the time. Popizer. And it's fascinating. I told you my witch and the broomstick story, I think, on a recent show, right?
Yes.
So I've been reading, it's fascinating. So I think we'll do a series on witches and sorcery and sorcerers and the justification for lustful women. I was reading the Malleus Maleficarum last night, and they're basically, the author of it is saying, listen, women get horny, and it's because of demons. And so if women get horny, you know they're in league with demons, and we need to burn them by fire, basically.
Yeah.
I found a witch, but we burn her. How do you know she's a witch? She looks like one. She turned me into a newt. Newt. I got better.
So when men get horny, that's nature.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm glad you explained it because I didn't know.
And basically, what I think was happening, there was a range of things happening, but from what I gather, there were certain women who just refused to be quiet, submissive Catholic wives.
God, preach, brother.
And they were like the town harlots. And other women were like, my husband doesn't want to fuck me anymore. He wants to fuck her. She must be a witch. Shall we burn her?
Sounds right.
Anyway, we'll get into it. So for this show, it's
Cool.
Michelangelo. I should do the whole.
Yes, it
the
is.
whole show like this, and see how long I can do it for. See if I can pull it off. It's February,
Right.
1505. 1505.
Right. Or late February 1505. Or maybe do every other word. Like Michael. No, you
The
do you,
problem
buddy.
is-
You do you. Go ahead.
I need to do it sort of quietly to get the effect across,
Right.
and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. I'm not going to do that.
There, did you get that out of
Yeah, I
your
did,
system now?
yeah.
Okay. There we go.
February 1505, Mickey gets summoned to Rome by the fucking Pope.
Well, yeah, he doesn't ask anybody. He summons. He summons.
In
your
the last
scrawny
episode,
hands.
he was in Florence. He's doing some stuff. He did the David.
He's busy.
got a ton of
Yeah.
commissions. But then when the Pope calleth, you have
Oh.
to respondeth. Now, tell
Yes,
the kids who the
yes,
Pope
for Christ's
was
sake.
at the time, Ray.
This was Pope Julius II. I'm completely going off of memory here. And this full confession. I think he's hot. I've been in love with him, and I've had sexual dreams about him ever since he's been played by Rex Harrison. Long
must
time
be
now,
possessed by
many
demons.
decades. Must be him, not me. Anyway, I don't know, but no, he certainly wasn't your traditional pope. I don't know how much if you want to do it all now, but he certainly wasn't your traditional pope. He did he had several nicknames: the Warrior Pope, I think, and Badass. I think I don't know what that is in Latin. But yeah, no, he basically wanted to make Rome great again. He wanted to build not only up the city but also the Roman Empire, his empire, if you will. And so he did some things. But the point is, this wasn't your typical guy. Look, I'll be pope for a couple of years and I'll die and I'll have a nice tomb. I won't really make any kind of changes. This guy was recreating what it meant, redefining what it meant to be the pope. And he did it with a lot of weapons and intimidation.
Giuliano della Rovere was his name before he became Pope. We have talked about him briefly in the past. Do you want to take a guess when the last time we mentioned him was?
Was it on this show?
Mhm.
I'm going to go with, see, what year is it now? I'm going to go with 2024. I really have no idea. I just want to be provocative.
It was July 2020, episode 98.
Shh.
Peak COVID. Good times.
Good
Good times.
Yes. So I was off by a couple of years. All right. We like to circle back.
That was we were talking about the 1492 conclave. He was one of the candidates, bankrolled to the cost of 200,000 gold ducats by King
Good
Chucky
God.
VIII of France, and another 100,000 supplied by the Republic of Genoa, and he still lost
Right.
to
Go big or go home.
Rodrigo Borgia, father of Cesare Borgia, who apparently had even deeper pockets for bribing the conclave. And
And he wanted it more.
yes, and he was the pope that denounced Savonarola. But when Rodrigo Borgia got the job of pope in 1492, he and Della Rovere were such mortal enemies that Della Rovere went into self-imposed exile. He got the fuck out of Italy when Borgia became
Wisely
the pope.
so. Yeah.
Uh,
That's my
it's
cue. I'm
interesting
out.
though. He took the name when he became the pope. He took the name Julius II. There was a Julius I in like the 6th century, I think, but people believe that he didn't take the name as an homage to the previous Pope Julius. It was from Julius Caesar. He was like,
The
I am
original.
going to be a
Yeah.
pope in the stylizings of
Right. There we
Julius
go.
Caesar. I'm gonna conquer some bitches and maybe be the Queen of Bithynia. Who knows? We'll see.
Hey, I won't cut off hands, but I'll cut off anything else that I need to cut off to make Rome great again.
His uncle was Pope Sixtus IV, Francesco della Rovere. When his uncle became Pope, He got rapidly promoted as a young man through the system, became a cardinal, la di
Hell
da di
yeah.
da, got all the good shit. And he was the Pope from 1503 until he died in 1513. And you said he was
Okay.
nicknamed the Warrior Pope, also the Battle Pope or the Fearsome Pope.
Battle. Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Obviously, bribed his way into the job. One historian said Giuliano, whom the popular voice seemed to indicate as the only possible pope, was as unscrupulous as any of his colleagues in the means which he employed. Where promises and persuasions were unavailing, he did not hesitate to have recourse to bribery.
Well, look, I mean, bribery, it doesn't matter how I get the job. As long as I do good works after I get the job, I think you're going to find all is forgiven. So
Like
there
a
you
South
have
Korean
it.
president, he was prepared to do whatever it took.
Oh, okay. Let me throw this in the mix. Apropos of absolutely nothing, we just found out that Epstein had special discounts at Disney World. Make of that what you will. But you know, when you're powerful, the reason you seek power is to have benefits, and you can do pretty much anything you want. And I'm sure this guy, again, he was thinking of the church. He's going to raise it back up. You know, raise the roof, and you got a bribe to get there.
He established the Vatican museums and initiated the rebuilding of St. Peter's Basilica. He also organized the Swiss
Mhm.
Guard for his personal protection
Damn right.
and commanded a successful campaign in Romagna against local lords, which we'll get into a little bit more detail later on. He also allowed people seeking
Right.
indulgences to donate money to the church, which he used for the construction of St. Peter's Basilica. And really, 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 and I mean really, he hated the Borgias, right? If there's one thing
Well,
he absolutely hated, it was the Borgias. On the day of his
yeah.
election, he issued a damnatio memoriae against the
Oh,
Borgias. He said,
damn.
I will not live in the same rooms as the Borgias lived.
So he wants a new set of rooms.
Not that the Borgias had been in, Ray, no. Listen, Ray,
No, a different.
he did not like the Borgias. I don't know how many times
No.
I have to fucking tell you this, Ray. He did not like the Borgias. Even when he got older
I am earning my
and he
money
became
today.
an
Right.
old
Yeah,
Michael
no.
Caine, he still didn't like the Borgias. Some people just want to see the world burn. So, Master Wayne, uh, he, uh, he said that
Uh-huh. Where were we?
Pope Alexander VI, aka Rodrigo Borgia, had desecrated the Holy Church as none before. He usurped the papal power by the devil's aid, and I forbid, under the pain of excommunication, anyone to speak or think of Borgia again. His name and memory must be forgotten. It must be crossed out of every document and memorial. His reign must be obliterated. All paintings made of the Borgias or for them must be covered over with black crape. All the tombs of the Borgias must be opened and their bodies sent back to where they belong, to Spain. The Borgia apartments remained sealed until the 19th century.
Now, for the listeners out there, I know this sounds slightly unchristian of him, but you don't get to the top without making enemies. And once you get to the top, you take care of your enemies, just like they try to take care of you. This is all normal. Don't overreact. Don't think any less of the Pope. This is what you do. This is the big game. This is what everybody wants. And right now, he's the top dog. And he's clearing house from these fuckers, these Spanish fuckers, let's be honest. No, it's he's wasting too much time on this, but that's his prerogative. That's his popish prerogative.
Most of the rooms of the Borgia apartments, which we went into, I'm pretty sure, when we were at the Vatican,
We went all up in that bitch.
2018,
Something like that. Sounds
something like that.
something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we went to the Borgia apartments. It's got a great collection of art, including Francis Bacon, Salvador Dali, Auguste
Mm-hmm.
Rodin, Vincent van Gogh, Henri Matisse. Yeah,
Right.
huge collection of modern and contemporary art. Um, anyway, so getting back to Pope Julie, he uh, he
Yeah.
did not like the Borgias, and he said that, and he would tell anyone. So anyway, back to Mickey. He leaves Florence mid-March 1505. He's been away from Rome for nearly 4 years. He gets introduced to the
Yeah.
Pope by his old friend from the Medici days, Giuliano di Sangallo. Tell the kids about Giuliano
Right.
da Sangallo, Ray. What's his deal?
Well, yeah, he was not a nobody. Let me just see here. Let me whip out my
Let me whip this out.
There we go. Yeah, no, he was on. Oh, and before we go on, just real quick, the Pope also, and I don't know if we're going to go into this later. I just found it curious that he is going to is he going to sign or ratify the Treaty of Tor Tordesillas, which was done earlier, which divided the world between Spain and Portugal, and Portugal got everything that was east of it. Spain got everything that was west of it, which is the New World. Interestingly, even though it grazes the eastern side of Brazil, it goes right through Greenland. So maybe if Trump can use that, he can get at least half of Greenland. Anyways, so yeah, no, this guy was this guy who introduced him to the Pope was a big deal. I'm going to edit that part out. I just had my notes. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Yeah. No, he too was an Italian sculptor, architect, military engineer. For reference, he lives from 1445 to 1516. So, he's getting near the end. Anyway, he was the favorite architect of Lorenzo de' Medici, and he commissioned several buildings for him. And I looked those up, and those are beautiful. Those were absolutely stunning palazzos that he did for the Medicis. He's also going to do structures for Pope Julius II and Pope Leo X. So again, this guy who's I think he's 30 years, I'm not exactly sure. He's a couple of decades older than young Mickey. He shows him around Rome. He knows a lot. He's been around a lot. And this, even though Michelangelo is this brilliant sculptor, he still has things to learn. And this guy, as they're walking around Rome, shows him a lot of history, shows him what people have done before. And Mickey very prudently is taking notes. He's copying notes. And even though he is who he is still learning from this gentleman who has lived longer than him and who has done some very impressive things in his own right.
Well, that was a lot of nothing, but yeah, he's an architect. They know each other from the
Artful.
Lorenzo de' Medici days. I want to point
Mm,
out that at this stage, 1505, Mickey is about 30. Pope Julius is
right.
62. And they're
Mm,
both very difficult personalities, uncompromising, and they're going to be bound,
yeah.
like you and me, they're going to be bound together for
Right.
all eternity. No matter what they do, they can't get away from each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. Well, do you want to know why I'm here today? Because the gun jammed. Anyways, so I'm here. I'm on the show. Please
You
continue.
know,
Sorry.
even if it hadn't, it wouldn't have reached this far. You can't, I know it's a 44
No.
Magnum,
I was
but
holding it like this.
right,
Not you.
right.
Yeah, I was holding it on me because I'm like, I got to record with
Yeah,
Cam. I only put one bullet in. I spun
yeah,
it. Anyway, so here we are. Let's not dwell on the
yeah.
past. That was 10 minutes ago.
Let's
Go ahead.
see
Go ahead.
if the universe wants me to record with Cam or not.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So Pope Julie wants Michelangelo to build him a tomb. Michelangelo,
Yeah.
they don't have a contract at this stage. It's a handshake deal. Oh, okay, I'll do it. How long will it take?
Yeah.
Well, it'll take as long as it fucking takes. What'll it cost? It'll cost as much
You
as
want
it
the
fucking
best?
costs. Okay.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Michelangelo makes him some drawings and they decide this isn't just going to be a tomb. It's not just going to be a work of art. This is going to be.
It's going to
This
be.
is going to be the
Eighth wonder of the world.
eighth
Eighth, ninth, and 10th.
wonder of the fucking world. This is going to be the greatest fucking tomb anyone has ever seen. You could be sure of.
But no
You could be
doors.
sure of that.
I'm
I
blowing
could
the
have been
doors off.
beaten or
Exactly.
killed.
Hey. No, but this guy's got a massive ego. He wants the biggest and the best. And Leonardo's like, look, as long as you don't limit me on time or money, I'll get you the best. I'm only 30. I could do this for years, and I will do it for you because you're the Pope and you'll excommunicate me, and I'm scared to death of you. So, again, but like you said, they have ambitions, and those ambitions feed each other, at least for this project. Michelangelo will do it through his art. The Pope will do it through his army.
So, in July of 1505, Mickey goes to Carrara, back to Carrara.
Again.
I'm going back to Carrara, to Carrara, to Carrara.
I'm going back
to Carrara.
to Carrara.
I don't think
Carrara.
so. To find marble for the tomb. Now, I don't know. I think I posted this on our Facebook page. Did you see a video of them cutting marble in Carrara that I posted on the Facebook?
That sounds familiar. Sexy Italian men shirtless sweating.
No,
that's what I remember.
No, that was something you did on your private time.
Sorry. I remember something. I remember.
No, I'm looking at the Facebook page. I did not post it to the Facebook page.
Or maybe that's just stuff
I saw this video of them excavating, I guess you would call it, marble in Carrara, and they're
right.
cutting off like sides of mountains still in this fucking place.
Oh yeah,
these blocks of marble that are like skyscraper size, and then they just sort of push them and they fall down and they crack. Ba-doom. That's what it really sounds like. Ba-doom.
That's what it sounds like. Ba-doom. That's the sound of marble. Yeah, that's why they call it Badoom marble. No, go ahead.
It was really something to see. Obviously, when Mickey goes there, it's a little bit less mechanized and automated. But he stayed for 6 months trying to find the perfect stone. Yeah. And while he's there, his imagination started to run wild. But you imagine, you're 30. You're now renowned as the greatest artist, not just ever living, but has ever lived, probably. You've got a patron with huge ambition to match yours, unlimited cash, doesn't care about contracts or payments. He's just the sky's the limit with the Pope.
Literally.
He starts thinking,
heaven's the limit.
You know what? If I play this right, I can probably build anything I want. He starts thinking about massive statues, like giant-sized, super-sized statues.
Yeah.
Building 40 life-sized figures, taking 40 years to do it. Marble, bronze. He probably knows about the Pope's plan for St. Peter's Basilica and the building up Rome. He's like, I'm going to just flood Rome with statues. He later commented that it was a madness that came over me, but if I could have been sure of living 4 times longer than I lived, I would have taken it on. Some scholars think he might have been thinking about the story that we've talked about before, related by Vitruvius, in which Alexander the Great's artist, Dinocrates, was going to carve an entire mountain in the colossal image of a man, Mount Athos. And remember that?
Right.
There's a drawing of it, I remember, like a huge mountain with a man holding his hand out or something. Was going to have like waterfalls coming off of his hand and this whole fucking mammoth ambition. He's like, you know what? I can do. It's just, the world's my oyster now. I've got this guy. He's a bit crazy, but he loves me. I love him. We get it. We're simpatico.
Right.
As some people.
You
just get me, Ray. I don't know how to explain it, Ray. Some people, they just understand. They just get me.
Yeah. Now, you're going too far when Alexander the Great goes, maybe that's too ambitious. Hear me out. No, I appreciate it. Love where your head's at. Love it. Maybe not for this thing. Let's do something else. And so the obviously the fertile Nile Delta is where Alexandria is going to go. But for a while, it was going to be a giant part of a giant statue where a city's in one hand, and in the other hand, it's a waterfall going into the water. So again, he was thinking big, and Alexander appreciated that, but he said, "Ooh, let's pull back on those
Well, I
ponies."
think
And
Alexander just
again,
died before he had a chance to really get into
so
it.
he said, like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't look. I'm going to live large. I'm not going to live
Yeah.
long." Okay, I think I've made
Yeah.
that quite clear.
As
No,
opposed to you,
but for
who has survived a
right,
lot longer than
small,
we expected by living
right,
as
yeah.
small
I'm
as
go
possible.
I'm going for the tortoise method. You don't really see me, you don't hear me. Most of my time is in my shell
Mm,
crying. But I'm gonna be
mm,
here. I'm gonna be here
mhm,
tomorrow and the day after that and the
mhm.
day after, unless the gun doesn't jam. The point I want to make is, you're right though. I think he's 30. He's thinking bigger and bigger, bigger. There's a blank check in front of him. Why would you not shoot for the moon? And at some point, he's got to go. Whoa! I got to pull back on this.
Well, he spent 6 months in Carrara. It may have been the happiest time of his life because he loves marble. Um, I
Yeah, love it,
love
Jerry.
gold, but by the time he
Right?
leaves Carrara in December, things have changed a bit. He goes and spends holidays with his family in Florence, cancels all of his outstanding commissions in Florence. He was supposed to make the 12
Can't do
apostles
it.
for the
Nope.
Signoria,
Yeah.
sublets the new house that he just built on the Via Ghibellina, returns to Rome in early January, waiting for the marble to arrive,
Son of a bitch.
and a discovery is made near the Santa Maria Maggiore on the Esquiline Hill.
Yeah.
His friend, the architect de Sangalo, is called. He calls Michelangelo, goes, "You got to come and see this." And
Yeah.
what has
Yeah.
been dug out of the ground is one of the most famous statues from antiquity, the Laocoon and his
Right.
sons. So let's talk about the Laocoon sculpture, Ray. Again, pretty sure we saw this when we were at the Vatican. Um,
Yeah.
pretty,
Sounds
pretty
familiar.
amazing sculpture.
Looked familiar. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said it the way you did because as an American from the South, the last four letters forms a very unfortunate word in the American lexicon.
Yeah, you
So
can't
I'm
call
glad
it
you say
Laocoon.
Lacan.
You have to
So
call it Lao African American from now on, Ray. When I
what?
wrote my notes and I
What?
ran them through the AIs for fact checking and stuff,
Yeah,
that
it
they
said
said that's
no.
a very
Yeah.
inappropriate racial joke, and you cannot use that under any
No.
circumstances because you will offend everyone. And I was like, don't you fucking tell me what to do. You're not my mother.
That's right. I'm gonna call up my mom and tell her this name
Yeah.
right now. No, so he was the Trojan or the Trojan priest who warned his fellow Trojans or Ionians, if that's the appropriate term, don't bring that fucking giant horse into the town, into the walled city. Beware Greeks bearing gifts. And fuck me, if the white coon, no, the Lacoon was, he was correct. He was correct. They were being bamboozled.
Well, there's a number of different versions of the story of who he
That's true.
was from Roman mythology. Uh, I want to start off by saying that this statue was discovered in fragments. It had been broken apart. It's been lying there for,
Right.
I don't know, centuries in the ground.
Yes. Yes.
They knew what it was because it matched a description that Pliny had written about that had survived. Pliny
Right.
said that it was in the residence of the Emperor Titus. He likes it Titus, who we're talking about on the Caesar show at the
Right.
moment. Titus, we've been doing a long series
Yes.
on Titus's siege of Jerusalem.
Exploits. Yes. Yeah. But first of all, just real quick, we should tell everybody it's the priest of father who's naked and just buff as fuck, as they all are. His two sons are with them. They're being attacked by sea serpents, some creatures from the sea. Anyway, so it's a very intense a moment in their lives are being attacked, and the expressions on their faces of absolute horror, or whoever the artist was that sculpted this, absolutely amazing. I mean, it's like Michelangelo level. as far as that. But it depicts panic, fear of death. I mean, whoever did this was an absolute
Yeah.
genius.
And Pliny had written that it had been carved from a single block of marble. But as
Right.
Michelangelo and Giuliano are reassembling the fragments, they realized that Pliny was wrong. It's not built from a single block.
Yeah.
It's built from different
Yeah.
blocks. Now, some people suggest that maybe that means that this wasn't the actual version of this that Pliny had been talking about. We don't really know,
The
of course,
original.
but
Gotcha.
the
Right.
sculpture is magnificent, and it excited Michelangelo's imagination and encouraged his exploration of the potential of the male nude. Now, I know you've been excited about the potential of male nudes for many years, Ray. When you look
Yes.
at this
Yes.
sculpture, what do you feel?
Yeah.
What emotions does
Honestly,
it raise in you?
honestly, it makes me want to go deeper
Yeah,
into the
deep.
male nude. I mean, I just want to. I want to get in there and
I've just
explore.
zoomed in on the
You know,
nipples.
and just suss out.
Should I show the kids what this looks like, or is that going to make your life difficult?
Please, no, whip it out. No, please, because it is a magnificent piece of art, and it should be shared with the people who aren't as smart as us. Joking.
Here it is.
Look at that.
that.
Look
at that.
And look at his face, the tragedy or the whatever on his face. I don't know if you can
I
zoom.
can.
Look at
Yeah.
that. Yeah, there's no way that's coming from one single block. I mean, it's too.
Well, we
Yeah.
know this arm, his right arm, was actually designed later. They didn't find the right arm, so this is a
Yeah,
later.
it doesn't look.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the Pope had cut it off. No. Go ahead.
But so this is Lacan. Look at his eyes, his eyebrows, which I read is
Yes.
anatomically impossible for eyebrows to do that. So don't try and do that at home, kids. You'll hurt yourself. These are his two sons. Here's a sea serpent attacking him. Now, some
Yeah.
people have said, well,
Yeah.
whoever sculpted this, and there are 3 sculptors that worked on it, according to Pliny. But they said, look, they
Right.
understood the male nude. They did not understand snakes, because that's not how snakes attack. They wrap themselves around you and squeeze. Snakes like this, they don't just bite. It looks like a
Right.
python.
You got to start
Yeah.
somewhere. But look at that. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Amazing sculpt.
Looks like looking into a mirror. Sorry, no good.
Which what
You weren't
one of the
supposed to
boys?
The serpent. The serpent.
The dick?
Yeah, one of the
Yeah.
little boy, the prepubescent
Yeah.
boy. Yeah. No, but look at the detail in the feet. I mean, the veins, the toes, the toenails. A masterpiece.
Yeah.
Sorry.
His abs aren't as good as mine, quite frankly, but he's getting there.
He's a little bit more training.
Yeah.
Little bit
Yeah.
more training.
You need to work harder.
Pilates, maybe.
Look at that
Yeah.
vein running down his bicep. His tries.
Oh, yeah.
Man, his lats here.
We're all working towards. Yeah, we're all working towards camp.
Yeah.
And so is
Yeah.
he. So.
It's absolutely magnificent. So, Pliny said that it was attributed to the work of 3 Greek sculptors from the island of Rhodes, Agasander, Athenodorus, and Polydorus, but he didn't mention when it was done or who the patron was.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe it had just been around forever. So, as you said, he's a Trojan priest, Lacan, and his sons, Antiphanes and Thymbraeus, are being attacked by sea serpents. It's been called the prototypical icon of human agony in Western art.
Damn, that's a lot.
It had been the subject. The story comes from the Greek epic cycle on the Trojan Wars, although it's not mentioned by Homer. It had been the subject of a tragedy which we don't have by Sophocles and was mentioned by other Greek writers, but the events apparently vary. The most famous account that we have is in Virgil's Aeneid. Virgil says that Lacan was a priest of Poseidon who was killed with his sons after attempting to expose the ruse of the Trojan horse by striking it with a spear. In the Sophocles
right.
version, on the other hand, he was a priest of Apollo who should have been celibate but got married, and the serpents killed
Right.
only the sons and left Lacohon himself alive to suffer. In other versions, he was killed for
Damn.
having had sex with his wife in the temple of Poseidon. I mean, that's just hot. I mean, like, who's not going
Thank
to
you.
do that?
That's what I was.
Or
Temple
by
sex
making a
is the best sex.
sacrifice
Sorry.
in the temple while his wife was present. You can't
Yeah.
let the women
Bitches can't be there. Nope.
witness.
Nope.
Then all of a sudden they'll want a sacrifice. Then where does society go
Oh,
then if women want a sacrifice in the temple?
where does it stop? They'll want
Next,
to vote.
they'll want to have
next.
sex with
Jesus.
demons, and we'll have to burn them alive.
Right. Yeah, we will.
So in some
Yeah.
stories, the python, the snakes, are sent by Poseidon, or by Poseidon, Athena, or Apollo. And we know that Apollo fought the python to see who would be the dominant god. I remember telling that story in the Alexander show many, many years ago. Anyway,
Right.
in some of these stories, Lacaon is being punished for doing wrong, having sex with his wife, sacrificing with his wife,
Yeah.
getting married when he shouldn't. In other versions, he's being killed for doing something good. He's trying to expose the Trojan horse as it's not really a horse. I don't know how many times to tell you that. I could tell you this, but horses aren't that big, and they are not made of wood. I think something else is going on. I don't know.
Something's a
I
fart.
don't know how to
Right.
fucking tell you this, but it's not a real horse.
Let me run my sword through it. No? Okay.
So Pliny says it was in the palace or the house of Titus. And I read up on this. There was thought that there was like a property in the gardens of Maecenas that Titus had. And people think, scholars suggest that it may have stayed in the same place until 1506 because we don't exactly know where this building of Titus's was, but there is good reason to believe it's exactly where the statue was found 1,500 years, 1,400 years later. So it may have just got buried over and just stayed there.
Yeah. Yeah. In pieces. Yeah. But so even though his marble from Carrara is not yet been delivered, at least he's got something to do. Again, he's learning. He's hanging with the old master. So it is a time of growth. However, I'm sure he's getting impatient, but not as impatient as the warrior pope.
Now, there is a suggestion, there's a conspiracy theory around this, that actually
Ooh.
Michelangelo carved this thing and buried it and then made out it was
Like the other.
because we know he was up for a good forgery. There's a suggestion that he forged this and was like,
Right.
oh my God, look at this masterpiece from antiquity. Wow.
Shock.
Weren't they really, really good sculptors, eh? Eh?
Look at the workmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
This has got to be worth a
yeah.
whatever coin or two. Who knows?
I mean, it's a minority view, but some people have suggested that maybe he forged it. We know that he had forged the Sleeping Cupid in 1496. So
it's not beyond him to do something like this. Yeah, gotcha. Still, that'd be a heck of a. That would be Ocean's 14. I don't know which one, but that would be a good grip.
I read that a couple of scholars have said that one of the reasons to be suspicious of this is that in all of the other ancient surviving depictions of Lacaon, because there are other sort of minor reliefs, etc., that have survived, paintings that have survived.
Yeah.
He's depicted in traditional sacrificial pose. Sort of sacrificing an animal or something like that in the temple. He was doing a sacrifice. This does not fit the mold for a traditional depiction of Lacaon.
He's standing.
So I don't know. It
And it's 6 foot 7 inches tall, so clearly a person or persons with great skill would have would be needed to do something like
and also
this.
because Pliny says it was made from a single block. This one that they've discovered was made of 7 separate blocks. Michelangelo just
Mm.
spent 6 months in Carrara doing something.
Ah,
May have whipped it
huh.
out. Fun fact: Napoleon liked this so much he took it back to France after his invasion of Italy in 1798.
He
It was
admired it.
returned in 1816.
Okay, well that's
Anyway,
fair. Yeah.
back to Michelangelo. Oh, we should leave this for the next episode. All right. In the next episode, we will talk about what went wrong with Michelangelo's plans to work with the Pope
Yeah.
and how he basically told the Pope to go fuck himself and left Rome. And the Pope said, "Oi, get back here." And Michelangelo said, "Don't think so. You disrespected me. You disrespected me, and I'm not coming back ever. I hope you understand. I will not be disrespected. If it's one thing I will not tolerate, it's blowing the bloody doors off. Or not
And
blowing the bloody
just
doors off, blowing up the old truck instead of blowing the bloody doors off and being disrespected by a Pope. I will not tolerate being disrespected by a fucking Pope. Do you know who I am? I'm Michael fucking Angelo. That's who I am."
and you said it just like that.